Hi, my name is Chris. This is my video for Advanced Modeling and Games Engine. This semester I went along trying to improve the game mesh of the redesign of Nina Williams into the Celtic theme warrior that I set upon last semester after going through the character design, a character study of Nina Williams, silhouettes and line drawings, and finally coming to the concept. Though the final result of this did not come out well last semester, through to a number of problems including topology, proportions, the actual textures as well, and also just general things that didn't stand out too well, such as the hair in this picture here. I went through everything including the sculpt, the retop, textures, and the way that it was exported in the engine. I went along trying to see how I can improve the topology, going through the animation loops and seeing how I can improve the textures such as color spec maps, and seeing how I can redesign some of the accessories.
Going to take a quick look at the sculpt here. Here we have the sculpt from last semester, and you can see straight away proportions were totally incorrect, and this was reiterated through my own feedback and the feedback that was received through Polygon, and the lectures also pointed out things like the arms and the hands and knees and the breasts. So moving on to the newer version of the sculpt for the semester, as you can see straight away, the armor pieces have been changed, the arm pads have been scaled up, and the chest piece has been totally redesigned based on the reference of this image. This was not copied straight off, as you can see, but the idea of the edge trim and the hard leather was taken in hand, with the short sleeves also. And it's worked out pretty well. It's exactly what I was looking to achieve, to give the idea of character mobility. Use of alphas and the orbs crack brush were also used on the pieces to obviously give the illusion of material, and just to give it more visual value, I suppose. The kilt was also scaled up, and the folds remodeled in. Maybe the folds are a bit too hard, though this can be improved through obviously watching the tutorials, and also learning how folds are made and move, and how they move also. Again, alphas were used throughout the model to help it out. So, and in terms of the proportions for the new version, arms were the arms are a bit more defined. They need more work towards the elbow. Shoulders are still too wide. The breasts have been improved in terms of size. They've been made smaller, more round, though it can still be improved. The waist is still too wide, as you can see from this example of female proportions. The waist should be one head width, and on the sculpt, as you can see, it's a lot wider than one head width. Knees were given a bit more form, subtle but effective, and again, as I said before, hands were also scaled up, and it's also helped this visually. In terms of the face, given a lot more shape and definition around the jaw and the nose. Whenever you compare this to the older model, it's a lot more rounded and a lot more fattening, to excuse the term, where here it's a lot more chiseled and more of a harder look towards the character. And that's the overview of the sculpt. As I said, improvements are to be made, and could be made. We're going to move on now to the retop. Hi, we're going to be looking at the retop here. As you can see straight away, I've modeled the armor pieces and the kilt etc. separately from the actual body itself. This is due to this example here and other game examples I've seen while playing games myself, where the body has been made as a whole, but the clothes and accessories have been retopped separately but skinned all together later on. I also followed the online tutorial about edge loops, animation loops from Blender Cookie, and how the edge loops coincide each other to help the deformation of the body. For example, these two examples of the male and female torso screenshotted from the YouTube video. I'll go in now and show you the body. As you can see, by following the tutorial, I've put in to the most part all the correct loops that will help deformation later on. As you can see, the shoulder loops passing over the shoulder and under the shoulder also, or well, blending into the arm anyway. The elbow, knees, and also the hands and fingers also. So the face I've also retopped. I think I've put in way too many edge loops, but it has allowed me to sculpt the ear at a higher poly. So and when I've skinned this, I'll show you now. Keep in mind that the kilt is going over the leg, hence the deformation on the leg, but the other parts of the body have deformed pretty well considering the placement of the edge loops. The shoulder does deform under the extreme stretch of the right arm, though again this is where the sleeve is going to be placed, and these are considerations I can be putting in later as to where the clothes will be and how they're retopped also, because as you can see, whenever I'm going to do the same motions, the kilt, the poly count and the edge loop, there's not enough edge loops basically on the kilt, hence its major deformation, both going forward and back. Same with the sleeves on the shoulder here. The hair were made by hair planes. I tried to make the hair planes as low poly as I possibly could, with the consideration of how it would be textured later on through UV mapping. And comparing this to how the hair was retopped last year is significantly different, as you might possibly be able to see. What happened last year was that I had retopped the hair to the shape of the hair sculpt. This did not work out well, and as you can see that the retop last year didn't work well at all either, because of the lack of any animation loops and the wrong topology, and the fact that the chest piece, the hands, the shins and the shoes were all retopped under the same mesh, with certain assets being able to be remeshed separately. The results from this retop though is totally different, has worked out a lot better. The try count though is very high, as you can see, 17,209. Compared to other game meshes is a lot higher than what is usually set. For example, my game mesh last time out was just under 13,000. Take a look at the textures now. As you can see, the eye texture here, it's on two separate UV islands, basically the same shape as the eye on the top here, the eye being hand painted. The reason why it's two UV islands is the fact that I loosely followed Ben Mathis' tutorial on the next gen eyes. As you'll be able to see in Max here from a previous render, the front sphere acts as the alpha channel, revealing the second half sphere, which contains the texture for the actual eye itself. Here is the alpha. The same goes for the hair. This is the hair alpha. The hair was made through a custom brush and color tones taken from the L'Oreal hair color chart. I followed honey blonde to pick my colors, and this was mapped onto the hair planes in Max. Again, the example render shows the alphas working at the tips of the hair. So moving on to there's a spec for the hair as well. Moving on to the diffuse. Diffuse is basically a projection of the poly paint from ZBrush with the addition of the light information from the bent normal map that was created through XNormal. The bent normal being this here. Again, we'll move on to the spec map. Sorry, this was basically inspired by the spec map used for this character here, Acelia. As you can see, the second map down shows how the different colors used in the specular map have affected how the light hits the skin afterwards, and the color of the shine on the diffuse map. Again, the normal map didn't come out all too well though, compared to previous attempts through 3ds Max. I did most of this through XNormal. Maybe I could follow up through changing the settings to enhance the normal map, such as the chest piece here, because like pieces like this came out well where the body didn't. The body came out very flat. Maybe more sculpting work in ZBrush is needed to define the detail a bit more. The sleeves, however, at the bottom of the texture here, they have not projected well at all, and it was the same with 3ds Max, where it was pretty much unsalvageable. A lot of errors. I tried projecting it loads of times, different methods through XNormal and 3ds Max, but this was the result I came out with. This is how the character currently looks like textured in 3ds Max. Obviously this will come out through better results in the Unreal Engine.
Just going to look at some in the engine things at the minute. Shaders and the renders. The eye shader here is made of the diffuse that's output out the specular and specular power created by constant factors, and the reflective cube map shader created in order to increase the specularity of the eye and give it its natural reflectiveness. The hair is also output out via the diffuse map for the speculars, again controlled by the constant factors, with anisotropic direction used to increase the highlights of the hair. The body material here is made of has the diffuse specularity color and the normal map as standard, but has the specularity power created by a specular power map multiplied by constant factor to increase the specularity power, with subsurface scattering, as you can see here in the beauty renders, created by the diffuse map, and the subsurface scattering texture created through ZBrush. Overall, I think the model has come out very well considering what it was produced last semester, and is definitely a far bigger improvement in terms of the texturing side of things and also the retopping side of things. Proportions need to be looked at in the future though, along with her creation. In terms of specularity, color specularity could be looked at a bit further. It works in the chest piece, but not as much on other parts of the mesh. And indeed the normal map also, in terms of the kilt, where it's quite non-apparent. Compared to industry, it could be a lot better in terms of obviously the way that the textures are created, the way the hair is created, and also just in general the consideration taken towards the try count. As you'll see soon coming up, there's a post from CG Society where Matt KSJ, I think KSP, sorry, is showing the try count for the Crisis characters, where it will average around 10k per character when taken on hand that heads are 3k each, bodies are 5,000 triangles, and attachments being 1,000 each. Thank you very much for watching, and I will leave you with the turntable of the character in UDK.